There we are. Um, Howdy, folks. First, I just want to check a couple of things. Can you let me know if you can hear me properly? Because I've changed a lot of settings on my audio system and my recording thing. So I just want to make sure that you can hear me properly. So if anybody can let me know, and then we'll get started. Yeah, okay, cool. Winston Pope, thank you very much. See, the idea of those, I haven't done those in ages. I've been meaning to do them like every 2-3 months. Thank you very much. Yeah, you can hear me. Cool. Yeah, I've been meaning to do these every odd month or so, starting last year really, and well, I kind of forget, and then the podcast got in the way and that kind of stuff. But these were heaps of fun, and I got really great feedback from a lot of people. Although somebody tells me there's a dislike already. I like that. Somebody actually just went out of their way to dislike the live stream before it started. It's so funny. Anyway, but the purpose of these is just first to just chat with you and connect and give everybody a chance to just ask a question or just say hi or just, I don't know, be here in person if you want. So literally I am going to go through the list of comments and just answer them one after the other. Just bear with me here. I'm just setting all my stuff together. But yeah, that's the idea. I'm just going to go through all the comments and I'll do my best to answer everything. Now keep it, clean. And I've heard recently actually there's a lot of changes in YouTube, and they've been demonetizing a lot of video that has very nasty comments in them or unsavory stuff, which is kind of messed up, I suppose. But yeah, so please keep it clean. I don't want any videos demonetized. E.g. the Hedgehog, that's way back up the list, but says, and Alguem random say E. I don't know what that E means, but I'm assuming that's some sort of a salute saying hi or something like that. Travis Blair and Igor Sabino, hi, thank you very much. A couple of smileys. Frank Acid, go drinking vodka or whatever. Yeah, Dullmass already a dislike. Bunch of people saying they can hear me. Been a long time, J Ram. Yes, indeed, that's what I was saying. Yeah, it's been quite a while. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just sort of got out of the groove of doing these, and then I'm not sure where to put these type of videos. Actually, I probably won't put them on this channel, but move them to the Mother Podcast channel at some point instead of just having them. Because whenever I did one of these and whenever I had the podcast on this channel, people just unsubscribe. Like I would literally get 30 unsubscribes every time I had a podcast or one of these on this channel. So I probably won't upload it, but it's handy to do these live on this channel and not on the Mother Podcast channel, because obviously there's a lot more people here, so, and not everybody wants to subscribe to everything. So yeah, that's the idea. AG the Hedgehog, yes, I can. Love your videos. Thank you very much, dude. Thank you very much. Fev78, greetings from a banjo player from San Antonio. Oh wow, that's in Texas, isn't it? San Antonio. Thank you. Is that, I assume you play the 5-string banjo? That's usually what you find in America, the 5-string banjo setup, the bluegrass banjo. Here, what I play, it's actually, well, it's a 5-string banjo as well, but it's a tenor banjo. So traditionally, there would be a tune like a mandolin or like a fiddle with 4 strings, and mine is a custom that I got made by a local maker, and I asked him to put an extra string on it, a low string, a C, so it's tuned in C, G, D, A, E, so in fifths, but it just allows me to get that bass register. So it's a pretty unique instrument. It's the only one I know like that. It sort of makes sense though to have that extra string. But yeah, no, and the maker was super cool. He was so excited when I asked him to make it, because he was like, all I do is tenor banjos, so it's so cool to get something custom. He was super excited. I posted a video on was it on Twitter or Instagram me picking it up and just playing a back piece on it. It's really, really cool instrument. I'm really happy. San Antonio, though, is that a big scene? I would assume there's a lot of mariachi bands and stuff like that over there. But is there a big bluegrass scene? This is sort of the format is going to take, by the way, for those who haven't attended one of these videos. I take my time answering every question, so it could take a while, and it could take a while before I get to your question and before I get to the answer to your question. EG Hedgehog, I also play banjo. Cool, that's cool, Hedgehog. Where are you from? It's a Guinness. Guinness. Are you in Ireland or England? You're a Guinness lover anyway. Thank you for the Monkey Island videos. Yeah, you're very welcome, dude. I mean, I do videos because I want to do them. It's really cool that people are enjoying them, and it's really cool to get thank yous as well, which, I mean, I don't do these to get thank yous, but it's just cool that people like the stuff and like the stuff enough to reach out and say all that. But you're very welcome. I still want to do a few more. There's a few more tunes from Monkey Island I'd like to do, and I'm just trying to find the right orchestration for it, and maybe give my friend David of Mariachi Entertainment System a buzz as well, and see if he join me for another cover on a couple of them, because that sort of fits that theme, that mix of sort of old traditional instruments like the banjo and things like that, and that sort of more exotic feel that you'd probably find in stuff like a mariachi band and things like that, for me as well, coming from where I come from. So yeah, I'll see whenever he's free and he's able to do something like that. KPS, KP Skywalker. Hi, you're the best. Can you do some Grim Fandango covers? Yes, I can. Again, actually, what I just said about Monkey Island applies to Grim Fandango. Actually, David and Mariachi Entertainment System guys would be the perfect guys to do a cover of Grim Fandango with. And I'm not sure whether they should do it and I should be in maybe as a guest, or I should sort of set it up and ask a couple of them to join in on that. I'm not sure. It's not something I want to do just myself, because it has some very... It requires a style that I probably don't quite have. So the risk with stuff like Grim Fandango that is very, very colored would be that I would sort of Celticize it, which would be a shame in a way. So it's something I need to think about, and it's something I need to spend time thinking about first before I start doing it. Because once I start, I have an idea already, and it'll be too late to change things. So I just need time to think about how I want to do it properly. But yes, the Grim Fandango is definitely in the books. Alex Wheeler, when did you start playing? By the way, you probably can't see these in this way in this feed here, because they're still way up the list, all these questions I'm answering. So Alex Wheeler, when did you start playing music in general? I mean, when I was very, very young, playing an instrument. So I started playing music or learning music with the MSX. And when I say learning, I just meant making sounds, programming, and that kind of stuff. I would have been 7 or 8 or something like that, just trying to make sound and little melodies and learning programming and that kind of stuff. And then I got a guitar much later. I made music and full composition with the Amiga first, and then I got a guitar. Was I 15 or 14 or something like that? I'm 44 now, so that's 30 years of playing. But yeah, that was the guitar. That was actually very, very frustrating, because I could do a lot of stuff on the Amiga and all those computers and do full melodies and compositions and chord structure and that kind of stuff, and I couldn't get 2 notes out of the guitar, because that takes time. So that was very, very frustrating, but I'm glad I stuck to it and got to learn all these instruments. Once you learn 1 or 2 instruments, the third one is probably easier. Like my first instrument is the guitar, and then it was the flute, I think I got after that. I did learn the drums in parallel, but so yeah, it's probably my third instrument and drumming. I'm not very good or any good at it really. But after that, it would have been stuff like the bouzouki. The banjo came quite late. In fact, that's why I wanted to start the channel, to force myself to learn different stuff on the banjo other than traditional Irish music. So yeah, it would have been 14, 30 years ago is when I started playing really. Um, Cosmo Shugamis, you'll have to excuse me, lads. I'm going to mispronounce a lot of your names, but this is people from so many different places in the world, which is really cool. But it's sometimes it's hard to get everybody right. By the way, is the stream all right? I'm assuming it is. I'm getting all my health and that kind of stuff, so I don't think I'm getting any dropouts. But says Cosmo says hello Banjo, hello dude. Mad moments good. Hey, you're back. Hello Maestro Ali, hello dude. How are you doing? Feeve78. How many instruments do you actually play? That's I get asked that often, and I don't know. Is what I'm gonna go with. The reason I say I don't know is, as you can see here, I have a lot of different instruments, string instruments, and I don't really count them as separate instruments. So I wouldn't see the guitar or the banjo or the mandolin I, I, as separate instruments, or the ukulele or the bass. I think they're sort of the same instruments. They're not that different. There's a slight tuning difference, but it's stuff you learn quickly. So I would see that as in one instrument. So I've covered already, like, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 pieces. The fiddle, the violin, I would count separate to that because there's a bow and it's a very different technique. But yeah, that's probably a separate instrument. I wouldn't say I play the violin though. I can just get a few sounds and a couple of melodies, but I wouldn't count myself a fiddle player really. There was a nude there as well, which is similar enough, and the tuning is different, but there's no frets, and it does require a different technique and approach. So it's probably different. I've tons of percussions, guys. I have. Let me show you without just freaking out this stream. But I mean, I have all these bits and things that I use. They're all here. Man, I'm just after messing this camera. Just bear with me and don't get seasick. Yeah, I shouldn't do that actually. Come on, stay put. There you go. So there you go. There you go. Sorry about that. So yeah, there's I've a lot of stuff. I have accordions under here. I have more percussions, and I've all my flutes. I have a ton of flutes. I have the bagpipe here somewhere. I don't know how many instruments I play. Again, I wouldn't say I play the accordion. I can get a melody, but I'm not an accordion player. I'm not even a banjo player. I'm really a guitar player. That's what I was. But the reason I started this channel with the banjo was just because it was different and it was interesting enough, and it hadn't been done before, and it was a challenge. E.G. Headhog, loads of thumbs up, thank you. Clash Guitar, hello. I found you playing a cover by Billy. I like it. Thank you very much. That cover didn't do well when I launched it. Actually, most of my covers don't really do well, but it just over time this seemed just to attract a lot of people. It's rare that any of my stuff goes viral. And I wouldn't expect it to, but it seems to snowball slowly and slowly and slowly. So yeah, it's really cool. Cosmo, love your Master System and NES covers. Thank you very much. Yeah, the NES stuff is, it's easy to do popular NES stuff because there's just the sheer numbers of NES fans. Master Systems don't really do well, but I really like doing them because I have personal affect to the Master System and nostalgia for it. And there's some great tunes that probably would deserve to be out there a lot more. But yeah. Hedgehog, I'm from Ireland and the tenor banjo. Oh, that's really cool. Where in Ireland are you from? Um, that's awesome. Phoebe 70F, Texas indeed. Yes, we're talking about San Antonio. Yeah, it's a 5-string Scruggs style. I'm not familiar with what Scruggs style is. I know so little about the banjo in general, but which is funny and ironically, but I just play a tenor banjo. That's really it. But I did have for a while when I was in college a 5-string banjo, and it was a very cheap, just very cheap banjo. I did learn a few tunes and some techniques on it, and I gave it away to a friend of mine a few years back. I'm kind of sorry I did, because it would be a, I think if I pick up a new banjo, because I have 2 tenor banjos here, it would be a 5-string banjo just to get a sound, because the sound is very different. People don't realize that they just see a banjo and they just assume it's bluegrass, but the sound of the bluegrass and tenor are very different, and mine is a tenor. It has a bit more body, but it doesn't do well in the high hands like a tenor, a 5-string banjo would do. So I'd like to have one of them for those high hands. Be very useful. I'm not sure what Scruggs is. Is that the finger? Would that the actual finger picks? Mark Whitfield, love your work, it's fantastic. Thank you very much. Mohammed Ghazi, from Egypt, banjo with all my love. Thank you very much. I just received a donation by somebody who is in the Arab Emirates, and it's oud from Egypt. And so I'm learning that at the moment. It was a donation they sent me. Him and his friend sent me. It's crazy generous. Sent me this oud there and a darbuka drum, which I'm learning as well. I'm trying to learn the traditional techniques first before I just do anything cover wise, because if I start doing my own stuff on it, I won't learn it properly. So I want to just learn it traditionally first, and then maybe use it in the cover afterwards. I want to do some Dune stuff, and I have a couple of ideas for Castlevania tunes that would actually sound great on an oud. But yeah, it's funny that this guy comes from Egypt. J-Ram, I remember when I started following you, you had 29,000 followers. Seems like your channel is doing well. I remember when I started the channel and there was no followers whatsoever. And yeah, it's been 5 years, man. It's been 5 years. I started this little venture, which in YouTube terms is probably forever. And most people seem to be doing very well. Actually, that's not true. Most people don't do as well in 5 years. Most people who have a channel, stay in the maybe hundreds or thousands. But there's a ton of people who went viral, and I didn't. It's just not a problem. But it's an certainly interesting little venture, and I like it. I still like it. It's heaps of fun. But I'm glad I'm doing something like the covers and not trying to get views for the sake of getting views, because you'd go mad. I think you would go mad eventually. For me, it's really about doing those covers and just the troubleshooting of just having a problem and trying to solve it with those covers, Anyway, so yeah, it's still, well, the funny part is still heaps of fun even after 5 years. Still enjoy it very, very much. Hedgehog is so talented, thank you, man. Stephen Morris, there's another fellow VGM artist. I would recommend following him as well, because he's very as well. He experiments with a lot of different sounds, acoustic and electronic as well, mixed together, and then some electric guitar. I really like his stuff. It's very chilled, very clean sound, which I don't think I have. My process and sound is a lot messier, but yeah, I really like what Stephen does. I think it was a patron actually has contributed to his Patreon account a while back, and I do that every now and then. I recommend that you go and give him a subscribe. Stephen Morris. It's a Guinness. Thanks, amazing talent. Thank you very much. DJ Cisco 767. Hola, senor. Hola. Igor Sabino. Good night. Hugs Send a hug to Brazil. I thought you were sending me a hug. Okay, I'm sending a big hug to Brazil. Hedgehog, I'm learning Bones Trust on tenor banjo. Oh, the is that Undertale or the other one? I think it's Undertale, isn't it? Yeah. Thief 78, not a bluegrass scene in San Antonio. We're a city of a million and mainly tradition, mariachi and other genres like any big city. Yeah, I assume that's what. Sorry, my phone went buzzing there. I assume that's what it was. I think Mariachi Entertainment System is from San Antonio, aren't they? I heard there's a big scene there, a big retro gaming scene there. There's seems to be a lot of YouTubers. Isn't 8-Bit Eric from there and a couple of other guys. And there's a few conventions, isn't there? I mean, for a relatively small city, it's quite a big scene. It seems like, anyway. Wargarby, do you have a piece of music you'd like to cover but haven't figured out how to arrange? Yes, many of them. Many. There's a lot of stuff from Dune, the first Dune that I want to cover. I was talking earlier on about the Grim Fandango and more of Monkey Island. There's a ton of stuff from the Commodore 64 that I would love to do, but I have to figure out a good way to do it, especially those arpeggiated chords, which are sort of simulated chords by playing the notes really fast one after another. I think I have a way to, I was going to say cheat my way into playing them live, because what I'm trying to do is have sounds that can be reproduced live. So if everything is just post-processing, it's not so interesting for me. But so I think I have a way to essentially just play notes just really fast, like in tapping almost, and then on the have just a volume control that will, it's like a very fast gate that will actually just silence them really quickly and just bring the volume down. I could explain for hours. I'm not even sure that's what it does properly, but yeah, I think I have a way to play those arpeggiated notes. I just have to figure out a proper way to streamline the process, so I can be sure that, at least for me, that it's something that can be done live. And not that I have an interest in playing live, but that's what I'm trying to do with this, all these sounds that I have. Just make sure that it's stuff that is acoustic and can be reproduced live. Stephen Morris, freaking love MES. Yeah, me too. I love Mariachi Entertainment System. Kartok, that's the message in French. I'm going to read everything in English if you don't mind, but he says, good evening, Ollie. How are you? I'm very good. Thank you very much. Igor Sabino, good night. Send a hug to Brazil. I did. BTKFR, I'm assuming that's FR for French. I never really liked multi-channel covers, but I really changed my mind when I found your channel. Thank you very much. Wow. Thanks for the great video you make. Thank you very much. Oh, I just lost my train there. We're back here. Kartok says hi from France. Thank you. Well, hello, France. Bonjour. Stephen Mars, do you have any documentation of your early days of composing on the Amiga? Yes and no. I mean, I have all my files. I actually spent the last couple of years just trying to salvage all my old floppies and all my old discs, and I have done most of it. There was a lot of corrupted stuff, but I managed to save, I'd say, 90% of it. So what I've been doing, I have another channel called OB2, and initially when I started this channel, I was posting a few tunes that I had actually redone them from the Amiga into OpenMPT, which is another tracker. Wasn't quite happy about them, but these were early days of the cover, so I put them up like that. But I'm gonna redo them. So the channel should be linked on the, the left hand side or right hand side, depending on this side of the YouTube channel, OB2, with all my other, I have a few other channels there, but so I'm gonna remaster them and redo them in I'm using Acid Pro at the moment, but probably I'm gonna shift for Ableton Live for these, but remaster them in that format. I don't know actually. I think I'm gonna. I don't know exactly. I've been using Acid Pro to redo them, but I'm not entirely happy. But then again, I don't think there's any one software that does everything that I'd like. So, but yes, so I'm gonna put stuff like that on the other channel. Although I don't know, should I put them on this channel as well? Sometimes I wonder, but yeah. Anyway, as far as documentation that's out there already, no. I did make a few pieces, and I was programming a good bit as well then, but our demos and attempts at making games never really left the village. So yeah, it's on. I have floppies there. It's all over there. But so yeah, I'll be just every now and then put in a new tune, because the reason being is I wanted to have sort of old Amiga like tunes from my other channel where I repair all my stuff in the background, so that I sort of own all the content on that channel, because I've been using just generic background music for that, but I just want to make sure that it's all my content, so I can be asked for, you know, royalties afterwards, even though it's royalty free, but might change in the future. You know, all these tunes that most YouTubers use in their background, you just never know. It might be royalty free now, but somebody might claim them, you know, in a year or in a month or tomorrow. So yeah, I started doing that so I can own all my content on that other channel. Sorry, my mouth is very dry. Whiston Pope, yeah, sounds great. I forgot what that's an answer to, but it's a Guinness, says it's good. Yeah, we're talking about Guinness. Igor Sabino, my congratulations for your work. It was very nice to feel again the nostalgia of all the games that marked my life with its covers. A hug, and I also ask a hug to Brazil. That's third hug to Brazil. Thief78 has loads of faces going like that. I assume that's when I showed all the instruments. Yeah, people freak out when they see the collection of instruments. I mean, they freak out when they see the arcade room and the games, but yeah, when they see the wall of instruments here, because it doesn't quite stop here, it goes all over here, and then I've stuff in the shed as well. I've a lot of stuff, and then I started making my own as well. Yeah. Mad Moments Go, yeah, very nice collection of instruments. Thank you. Yeah, I have a few. Easy the Hedgehog, what was the hardest song to recreate? I do need to think about that, because I mean the first one, the first ever Castlevania cover was pretty hard, because I'd never done anything like that, and I was doing it because I wanted to see if I could do it. So the first few covers, yeah, were probably what I would say the hardest. If I'm being objective, by hardest, people have a tendency to think the most technical, as in the fastest, or things like that. So, but I don't think in that ways. I would say probably the Bloodborne cover, the what was it? I forgot the name of the tune now, but yeah, the Bloodborne cover. Just to decipher all these chords and mad, yeah, just it was quite crazy. It was quite big. So the ones that I've done, yeah, that was probably the hardest. I have one coming that is I won't say. Well, I did tweet about it, so I could say it, but it's a Turrican tune, Turrican 2 tune. It's 7 minutes long. Turrican tunes are incredibly hard, because I'm so particular about them as well, so I just want to make sure that, especially the balance, in those, the balance has to be just perfect, to the micro fucking decibel. So I spend a lot of time on these, and just to get that sound right on those acoustic instruments is particularly hard. So yeah, this one, that it's 7 minutes long. That's going to be the longest. I think it's like 35 or so, 36 tracks long. It was the craziest that I've done. It won't be out for a while. I want to do a full Amiga month at some point. It'll probably be in April because Amiga. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so we'll see about that. Morgan Just Games. There's another fella YouTuber. He does a lot of just let's plays and stuff like that on Amiga games. Speaking of, hello Lee, how are you doing, mate? I'm doing very good, thank you very much. Yeah, check Morgan Just Games. Another cool lad. Stephen Morris. Literally everything under the sun is a percussion instrument. Yes, that's. Do you know it's so misunderstood, especially acoustic guitars. I used to teach accompaniment on the guitar and bouzouki and stuff like that in the context of Irish music, and when I lived in Dublin, and that was one of the first thing I said about the guitar. I said you have to treat your guitar like a percussion, because you're playing chords, you're playing them at a certain tempo, and obviously if you don't get your tempo right, if you're right hand, if you're strumming with the right hand, if that's off, it doesn't matter what the left hand does. You could be doing just crazy shit. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. If your right hand, if your strumming hand isn't exactly right, you're done. I mean, it's there's no point playing. So it's the one people focus the less on, that strumming hand, but it's the one you should focus the most on, because if that's off by any amount, you've lost everything, and you've lost the audience, and you've lost the train of the tune. So I always said the guitar is a percussion instrument with harmonic capabilities, but it's first a percussion instrument. I mean, that's debatable, and we could argue that point a lot, but it seems that that's the approach you have, Stephen Morris, as well. So that's really cool to hear. I like when I hear that from somebody, because that's the way I see a lot of these instruments. And even when you're playing melody, if you're playing melody, you have to approach the melody from a rhythmic point of view. That's why you hear some guitar players that have that, they talk about phrasing, and they have that phrasing right, and and you try to play it in your room and it just doesn't sound right. It sounds flat or anything like that. It's because that phrasing comes from the strumming hand, and if that's off, the phrasing is gone again. You could actually be exactly on time, but the phrasing is off, or slightly different, or slightly wrong, and that's percussion. That's actually what it is. So important, that strumming hand. Focus on that more than because things will come here, techniques will come here, and then if you play too much technique, actually will get it out in the way of music. I think that's a tendency people have to get out of, just trying to outdo the other guy or play faster or more notes. It doesn't. I don't know. I was never impressed by just technique from that sense. I'm much more impressed by somebody who has just incredible rhythm on his right hand. Julio Del Antonio, legend. Thank you. Chris, Chris, how are you doing? Hey, I finished Monster Boy a few weeks ago. How did you feel about how solidly grey the human version of your character hair was? I, for one, was offended. Yeah, I love the animal version of Ollie. The human version of Ollie was off a bit, but it was cool. It was still very cool. Look, all in all, I'm still in awe and shocked that this happened. Like I told you, Chris runs a few podcasts, the Stone Age Gamer podcast and Waveback. Chris Randazzo, check those. Actually, they're very fun. Waveback is about video game music, and he does it with a mate of his, and they're actually very good outlook to just exchange ideas and personal feelings on the music on one topic or one game. It's really cool, actually, and Stone Age Gamer podcast is heaps of fun. Yeah, it's great characters in there as well. Definitely recommend it. But how do I feel about that whole experience as well is, I told you, like, when I was on this podcast, by the way, but I said it's a dream I never had that came true. I mean, they put me in a video game. It's so fucking cool. I don't know what to say, but yeah, it's pretty surreal. Like, I still, Fiona tells everybody that comes in the house, and I have to show the game, and I'm still going, yeah, that's me. It's weird. It's really odd. but it's cool. I was delighted, and then they invited me to Paris for their opening. That was just awesome. And they were so nice about it, and it was a cool process. The hardest part was not being able to tell anybody for the past 5 years, because they approached me really early days of the channel, literally a couple of months after I've done the second cover ever. They actually sent me a mail saying we want to use that for our trailer, and it sort of evolved from there, using the trailer, and I got paid for that. They actually paid me. I would have done it for free, and I sent them a mail. I said, look, if you want to do more trailers, I'll be doing more covers, so you're welcome to have them for free, because I said yes for free initially, and they're the ones who offered to pay me. So so that's how it happened. And then I think I sent them a mail saying, yeah, I'll make more covers if you want to use them. So they said, well, how about we actually use covers in the game? And at the time it was still a suggestion, so I was like, well, please, I mean, how many do you want? So I was like, went back and forth a few times, and I said, well, look, I'm going to make this and this and this, and there's so many covers, like 7 covers, the 7 covers that ended up in the game. So that's sort of how it started. And then there was no question of money or anything like that, and then they offered to put me in the game as a NPC character, and as far as I was concerned, there was payment enough. They sent me stuff. Obviously I got the games, and I got the early demos, and they sent me the PS4 that is here, so I could test the game when it was out. Yeah, it was just a cool and just pretty seamless process, and the whole thing was just really cool to see a developer and the publisher. It was actually the publisher that contacted me, and afterwards the developers I was in touch with, and then somebody like me who's on the outside of that industry just sort of collaborate together. Seeing those two worlds just come together was just really, really cool. And then so I did a few covers, the early covers that were on the channel. I sent them that, and then during the development they decided to redo a lot of their graphics and a lot of their animations and all that kind of stuff. And I listened to the old covers that I'd done, and I was like, I can't have that in the game after all the work they've done. So I redid everything. So I did essentially two sets of 7 covers. It was worth it. It was definitely worth it at the end. And yeah, it's such a cool game. If you haven't played it, I recommend anyone would play it, because it's such a really, really callback to retro days. Like, I was 14 again, when I played this just before the end of last year, and yeah, it really felt like I was a kid again. It is such a good film. There's some really great new tunes composed by Yuzo Koshiro and Yaman as well, and a lot of very talented Japanese composers, and they have that feel that you used to get from old Japanese games. Really, really cool. Really nice game. It's beautiful. Hedgehog, you're from Carlo. Oh, that's cool. I haven't been once to Carlo, I think. It was for a gig, and I don't remember much. BTKFR, I really like your covers months ago. Well, we were just talking about it. I was surprised that it was actually included in the game. Were you approached with this, hey, your covers, I could do some for them? That's exactly what I just explained that. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Stephen Morse, Scrugg is a bluegrass guy, right? Was he the person responsible for the clawhammer style? That's what I meant, actually. I meant to not the finger metal bits, but the clawhammer style. Yeah, it could be that. I don't know enough about 5-string bluegrass. Gato no Compo Barros, I'm sorry about that. Hi Banjo Guy, I met your channel 2 weeks ago, and I'm a fan of your work, Brazilian fan. It was awesome that you play Castlevania on your banjo. That Castlevania tune, I have that going as an ad. Most days, actually, not for very long. I think I just have like a $2 ad on it, something like that, so it goes pretty quickly. But the amount of people and subscribers I'm getting from that is definitely worth it. So a lot of the money I'm making from the YouTube revenue, I just put that back into YouTube and advertising. It's kind of worth it. It just really helped the channel grow. If Stephen Morris, if you're still here, I recommend you do that if you can advertise, because it's definitely worth. Find a cover that is probably the catchiest cover, and that's what I've done with the Vampire Killer. Have that running as an ad. JRAM, any chance of doing let's play types of videos on your channel, or showing off the games you pick up from second-hand shops? I'm assuming you mean on the 8-bit Manshed. Yeah, I did that a bit with MSX games and things like that. I don't know, let's plays quite aren't my thing, really. Yeah, I've been asked that before. I don't know. I like doing repairs, and I like doing the covers, and if I was doing stuff for views, I'd be doing a very, very different type of content. But yeah, I know what you mean. The secondhand stuff, I've sort of stopped. Not that I've stopped going, but it's just, first, it's really hard to find stuff still, and yeah, just I was running out of space as well, so I've put a lot of stuff in storage. I've been selling quite a lot of the stuff I found, and just keeping the games I really want to play, and or refocusing the collection, really, is what I mean. But most of it that used to be here, now I have my workbench set up and my repair stuff. Most of the games that used to be here, all the shelves and all that, they're actually in a different room now. So probably not a let's play channel or let's play type of content. Sorry, I'm gonna have a sip. I hope the stream is okay, because we have yeah, I'm seeing there's a low frame rate here. Anyway, I'll keep going. Igor Sabino, Zelda music on the flute is wonderful. Thanks. Yeah, it's funny. I did a few Zeldas initially in the early days of the channel, and I stopped doing them. I sort of had this knee-jerk reaction when Breath of the Wild came, I suppose, because it was all over the place and everybody was doing Zelda covers, and I'm also trying not to do stuff that you would find on most other channels, so JRPGs and stuff like that, trying not to do too much of. So also, I don't have much experience in a lot of these JRPG games. I've played some, but not really enough for, I will cover more Suikoden stuff and Chrono Trigger and things like that, but and more Zelda, yeah. So what happened with Zelda is I started listening to a lot more Zelda stuff, from Wind Walker, especially, and realizing that it's actually very close to what I've been doing for the past 30 years, which is traditional music. It had a lot of influence from Celtic stuff and other types of music, but yeah, it is heavily influenced by Celtic and stuff. So I was like, that's actually a perfect match. So I started doing those, and I've explored a bit more from the Zelda games. So yeah, I'll be doing more Zelda stuff, and they're super appropriate for using the flute and the accordion and all these sort of cool build up of just Celtic sounds, if you will. Yeah, the stuff I've been doing all my life, so it kind of comes pretty natural. I was trying to stay away from doing that for as much as I could as well, because I just wanted to explore different sounds and other options on these instruments. But it's cool to come back to it every now and then. Igor Sabino, Castlevania, so do not even talk. I'm not sure what that is referring to, but yeah, cool. Stephen Morris gives me a big heart. I'm assuming it's because I was praising your channel, man. Oops, and I skipped a few. There you go. Gato no Campo Barros. Do you have several Brazilian fans? Yes, there's a lot of people from Brazil, actually. I'm assuming it's because I did a lot of stuff from MSX as well, and Sega stuff. It seems to be doing pretty well or pretty almost exclusively being watched by people in Brazil. So, yeah. Kuro Katai, I just wanted to pop in and say thank you for this Miley and the nostalgia for the love you put into all your great. Thank you very much. Painting included. Yeah, I've stopped doing those paintings. I used to do a lot more. I just haven't had time. I have a few here that I need to finish. I was doing a Speedball 2 painting a while back, but I just haven't had time to finish it. Hopefully I will. I should really spend time on this guy. I have this. I did the gods as well. I love the art of the Bitmap brothers, so I did the gods painting. This one is pretty much finished, but I need to do more. I need to get back in and finish those and make more. Just time. It's all time. If I was full time doing this, I'd be able to do more paintings. But yeah, take care and have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you very much, dude. Fev78, I listened to Marriage Entertainment System. I was pleasantly surprised to hear you on it. Yes, we did a collaboration on Star Fox or something like that. It's great when worlds collide. Yeah, it was a cool one. It was really, really cool one. Tweeted about it some time back. Loved it. Thank you very much. Easty, best place to get retro games in Galway, if that is where you are. Best place to get retro games in Galway is none. No, there's nowhere. I go to card boot sales and well, I used to. I don't do. I still go to a few places, but not so much for retro games. But there isn't anything anymore. I used to. I did it for 4 or 5 years, and I actually built a few contacts, but they've all dried out and they've all disappeared as well. So yeah, I'm back to square one on this one. Every now and then, because I've been doing for so long, every now and then I get a call from a friend who has something. I get a lot of donations. That's the other thing. It's one of the reasons I've stopped going to a lot of places. People are, especially because I do repairs, people are sending me their just broken stuff, not for me to fix them for them, but for me to have, and if I can revive them, I get to keep them, and it's that kind of way. But they're happy to let it go to somebody who appreciates that kind of stuff. So yeah, I get a lot of donations of systems and carts and things like that, and arcade boards lately. Yeah, because that's what the other channel is about at the moment. It's a lot of arcade repairs and arcade boards and this kind of stuff. Fev78, we just talked about that already. Cosmic Castaway, dude, how are you doing? But yeah, yes, he does. Brazilian fans we're talking about, but they're not on Discord. Yeah, I have a Discord server actually that is been taken over by. I'm not the most important person on there anymore. It's really cool though. It's cool. It's all fun and there's a lot of cool and knowledgeable people actually on arcade repairs and tech stuff, and there's a RetroPie section as well, and there's the MSX section that is sort of run by a friend, one of the members there. Yeah, it's cool. It functions without me being there for a few days, but I'm still there. I'll still answer your questions if you have any there. Stephen Morris, love the idea of using a gate on our pages that way. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's called. It's one of those auto gates that just you can actually set the curve, whether it's sin or square wave. So I just set it to square, and then it just cuts out like that. You could do that with a pedal, but it just, you have to get the timing of the notes and the timing of the gate just right. So it can get out of control if you don't do it right. So it really just needs a bit more practice on my part, just to get my tempo perfect, which I would have thought was pretty okay at this stage, but not enough for me to cheat my way and do a post-prod cover type of thing. Well, mind you, most of it is post-prod anyway. It's just you know what I mean. I'm just trying to make sure that it's still legitimate, or it would sound okay if it was played by different people or multiple amounts of me. Where Garble. Oh yes, the Commodore 64 has some pretty amazing stuff. Yes, yeah, he did some really, really cool tunes and pretty iconic stuff as well. And the C64 crowd is so dedicated to the cause. It's not even funny. And there's some iconic tunes that, well, yeah. Just sub to OB2, Stephen Morris. There's a story behind that OB2 thing. Well, at first I was joking a lot about the Obi-Wan Kenobi answer in my in my sorry, my stream seems to have gone down. Hopefully not too much. At least it'll be recorded so you can buffer it. But I was joking a lot about Obi-Wan Kenobi, but there's a story about a friend of mine's kids. He has a daughter, a son and a daughter, and the son was playing with a Jedi outfit and a sword, and he came in the room and said, "I'm Obi-Wan," and the little sister didn't want to be left out, so she said, "I'm Obi too," and so that's where it come from. Max, Sup Ollie, how are you doing? I'm hoping that stream is still working. Let me just check for a second. Yeah, we're back. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. The stream disconnected there for a minute. Hopefully we're back. It tells me I'm live. Yes. Easty said, heard they mention here in the local in Cavan, Clear Guinness. Yeah, I heard about that Clear Guinness. I don't know what to make of that. Yeah, not sure. Oh, my stream is gone again. Bear with me, folks. Okay, we'll try this again. Sorry about that. There we are. So somebody was talking about the Clear Guinness. Yes, I can't say I'm a fan of the idea of Clear Guinness. Mind you, I'm not exactly a fan of Guinness either. So Smithwick's, I like Smithwick's as a beer. Actually, I like Belgian beers a lot more, like Lef and stuff like that. Igor Sabino, too bad I cannot sit in the end. Thank you. No problem. Thanks for dropping by. Clash Guitar, notice you're wearing 3 different shirts in some videos. Probably 1 or 2 videos, but that would have been the early stuff when I wasn't paying much attention to. So I guess it takes a long time to film and edit videos. It's much appreciated and enjoy watching them. Yeah, well, it does. Yeah, it does take a long time. But editing, I usually do that on one day. Usually weekend. The video. Weekends. Although, well, it depends. Yeah, I suppose if I record the audio at the same time. It's, I try to be careful usually. So if I wear different stuff, it's probably on purpose. But yeah, hard to know. Gato Compo Barrow. Banjo, do you know a Nintendo game, Nintendo 64 game called Banjo Kazooie? The opening is played on banjo. It's a very fun song. Who knows, you doing a video someday. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been asked about Banjo Kazooie. I used to get asked about that every cover, to do a cover of Banjo Kazooie, but I'll repeat myself, but probably not, because, well, there's no point doing a banjo cover of a banjo tune. just trying to do stuff that isn't banjo. Next, Jansen Ferraro. Hey Brazil. Hey. Adrian Bauer. Hey, how are you doing? Adrian is one of the guys from D-Pad Studio. Is that it? Is that D-Pad Studio? Yes, D-Pad Studio, and they did Owlboy. Really, really cool little game. How are you doing, Adrian? Chris, gotta go feed the kids and dinner now, but thank you very much for dropping by, Chris. And go check out the Stone Age Gamer podcast. Really, really great bunch of guys. Jansen Ferraro, hey, say hello to Brazil. How many times do I say hello to Brazil tonight? But hello, Brazil. Mr. BLA. So what's the story with Monster Boy in the Cursed Kingdom? Your work was wonderful in that game. You'll have to rewind and go back to I don't know, 20 minutes ago. Talk about that a good bit, but yeah, that was a cool story. But I explained all that a while back. So I recommend you either rewind or watch the replay of this when it comes available. Guys, can you still hear me, by the way? Not sure if that stream is still working. Yeah, somebody let me know if you can hear me. I'm trying to fix all these. There's not much I can do. It's okay. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, there's a lot of delays, but it's because I'm actually just going through the questions one by one and taking my time answering them. So yeah, by the time you say hi or you ask something, it's going to be a while. So yeah, so this video, when it's done, I'll probably put it not on this channel but on the Motherfuckers podcast channel. So check that out as well. It should be in the recommended channels on this side of the main page on the channel. Where was I? Christian Castellaro. Hi, Ollie. Thanks a lot for sharing your talent with us. Thank you. And for reviving such masses of nostalgia. No, well, you're very welcome. It's, yeah, I'm just delighted people are enjoying it. I really am. And yeah, ultimately I do this because it's fun and I want to do it. So yeah, that's really what it is. Jean-Georges de la Blatte. Hi, Ollie. Hi. Stephen Morris, that's a great idea. I assume you're talking about the advertising. Yeah, I mean, a handful, very few people, but a handful of people have given me shit for doing that, and they thought it was unfair, but I was like, but how is it any different than using any sort of advertising? So either telling people to subscribe at the end of the video, or I mean, that's advertising as well. So I was like, I people can be funny sometimes. So, but yeah, I did advertise on YouTube. It's a great way to promote your channel. It's unfair if obviously you haven't the money, or if your channel, because the money I use is from the YouTube revenue itself, so that goes back into the channel. It sort of feeds itself. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, people can be funny about stuff like that. Salvo Caminiti, sorry, you'll have to excuse the pronunciation again. Hi Lee, which is your favorite Castlevania soundtrack? Oh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with the first Castlevania, and I'm gonna go for the Vampire Killer on the MSX one, purely because that's the first one I played. It's not objective. I'm sure you could argue that there's better soundtracks from a Castlevania game, but that's the one that is dearest to my heart. So yeah, it's the one I'm gonna go for. Ali, welcome to welcome to Scotland viewers. Hello, Scotland viewers. Adrian, I enjoy all the repair and workshop project videos. Thank you very much. Yeah, these can be tedious. They take forever. I mean, this actually, it's funny because I get so little back from this channel, but it's the one that takes me the most time to do all these PCB arcade board repairs. What I have. For those who don't know what we're talking about these arcade boards that I get broken and spend an hour or two repairing on my other channel. They're usually much quicker videos. They're probably like 20-minute videos, but sometimes I spend weeks on one of these guys just trying to fix it. It's fun though. It's fun, and it's just nice to revive an old game that was essentially dead. Jean-Georges, how long does it take you to make 2-minute videos? I try to do one a week at the moment, but it takes me more than a week. Probably 2 weeks really per video, but I have sort of a rota that I'm going through, so yeah, probably 2 weeks. If I did it full time, it'll take me a lot less than that, but it's because I can only do it in the evening after work, and not every evening, so mostly weekends, that kind of stuff. In terms of hours, it's hard to say because it really depends. But yeah, 2 weeks, by the time I want to do this tune, to finding either, well, I can't read music, so it'll be either deciphering it and writing a MIDI for it, or getting a MIDI from somewhere else, learning all the parts, recording them, editing all the audio and video, and editing all that together, and just coming to a point where I'm happy with it, and reworks and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it takes me, that's a good 2 weeks per video, per 2 minutes, sorry, a video. Winston Boom Suikoden, please. Yeah, I'll make more of that. It's a great soundtrack. BTKFR, what do you think of Zelda Breath of the Wild soundtrack? I'm not super familiar. I know I did the intro to it. That's really the only one. There's a few nice tunes. There's a good few nice tunes I've heard on YouTube, but I haven't played the game. I don't have a Switch, so that's kind of why I didn't do more from that game, because I don't know. I didn't play the game. I wouldn't feel right doing more from that game when I haven't done the game. Can you do Frog's theme from Chrono Trigger? Also more Resident Evil music. Yeah, I could. I have a long list of tunes I want to cover. R-Type, yeah, that's also in the list. What is your favorite Amiga game? Love your covers. I'm gonna go for Turrican 1 or 2. It's a toss, but yeah, I'm a big Turrican fan. Easty, I don't know if you do watercolor, but there's a Kickstarter with the world's blackest black paint. Wow, the world's blackest black paint. Okay. Media Glitch, how are you doing, dude? Media Glitch is another cool channel, and he's also a filmmaker, and nice guy, very friendly guy. Media Glitch has also had a cool story actually about his own personal recovery from addiction. There was a very, very touching few videos. I recommend the video Media Glitch. Check him out on YouTube. It's a cool channel. They do a lot of reviews, and there's some more personal stuff. But the whole channel stems from their work, their actual TV work as well. So it's very, very professionally done. Really enjoyed that. It's nice to see something different like that, because usually YouTube channels are either sort of documentary, like, I don't know, like, the gaming historian, which is still very cool, or making video, people making stuff or fixing stuff, or more casual, very casual reviews. But this really feels like a full-on TV sort of production, which is really cool, and it's still very friendly. Enjoy the channel, check it out. Media Glitch. Colligo Duck, hi Ollie, do you do any ballads? I'm not sure what you mean. Do I sing ballads, as in cover of from video game music, or do you mean, I don't know, I'm not sure what you mean. Mr. Kinto, bonjour, good evening, he says in French. Gato, who knows, someday you'll come here and play in some events. We're waiting. That's very unlikely. I've been playing live all my life, and I am glad that I don't have to do it anymore, and I can play the music I want in my own terms from this room. That's the whole point of me doing this channel. I've been invited to a few conventions, and I always say that I don't want to play live, and then they don't invite me, which is fine. I'm absolutely fine with that. People invite me so they get their money worth out of me. It's understandable, and they have to do that to make it worth their money of getting me over there, and etc., etc. But so when I say I don't really do live music anymore or feel like playing, it's just too much stress for me. I've done it in my life, and I've no desire to do it again. When I say that I don't do that anymore, they kind of go, oh, well, okay, fair enough. Well, then, thank you very much. We'll ask somebody else, and that's cool. That's absolutely fine. I completely understand that. I've no big desire to go to conventions either. I've been to so many festivals and slept on so many sofas, and I'm sort of glad I don't have to do that. I'm not 20 anymore. I'm 44, and just having the luxury of doing the music I want from the comfort of my own house is very, very enjoyable. Media glitch. That said, if you want to invite me to a convention and just do a panel or just as a guest there, and I don't have to play live, I'm more than happy to consider it. But that's. I don't play live anymore. Okay, we're back to where I was having trouble with the stream. Stream seems okay, just buffers a bit. Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay. Adrian Smith. Hey, Adrian, how are you doing? There's another friend from Ireland here. You're a successful YouTuber when you're half an hour behind YouTube comments. I don't know about that, but yeah, I do take my time to answer all those comments, so yeah, it's probably my fault as well. Oh god, I lost my train of thought here. Where was I? The buffering was going crazy there for a while. I hope we're back. Gato, I'm just gonna say Gato because it's a long username, dude. Has a song in Legend of Zelda as famous as the vampire killer from Castlevania, or is there a song from Zelda that's as popular as Castlevania? Oh, it's called Gerudo Valley. Okay, I thought that was a question. It's called Gerudo Valley. Yeah, I'm aware of the Gerudo Valley. Several North American musicians have already played it. It's pretty. Have you heard it? Yes, I know. I know the tune. When I say I'm not familiar with Zelda, I was talking about Breath of the Wild, but I'm familiar with many Zelda songs, of course. Well, you just answered your questions in a way. It just a lot of people have done it, but not many people have done stuff from the MSX or the Amiga stuff, or the Sega Master System, or arcade tunes, which I have a lot more coming. So if I mean, I could do a lot of the stuff that is popular already, but I mean, that's debatable because some people try that and they don't get the views they're expecting. And then I have this little tune from from Nightmare on the MSX, which is now 20,000 views, something like that, which I wouldn't have expected. But it's funny. YouTube is funny like that. So part of me is like, I just want to do something different than what everybody else can offer. Because everybody's done Zelda, everybody has done stuff from Final Fantasy or Pokemon or most JRPGs at this stage. So it's just cool to do something different, I'm not saying I wouldn't do Gerudo Valley. I probably will actually. I think we're at the point where so many people have done it years ago, and then not many people are doing these tunes anymore because so many people had done it. So maybe now or maybe next year would be a good time to revisit that entire soundtrack from the N64 games. Adrian Bauer, oh man, I'm realizing how much delay there is between the stream and chat. Yes, well, that's because I'm answering them slowly. A lot of people telling me they can hear me. That's fair enough. What games are you currently playing? JRAM asked what game I'm currently playing. Right now, for some reason, I'm playing a lot of Diablo 3. Don't know why, because I felt like playing Diablo 3 a couple of weeks ago. But I was playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption. Obviously, finished Monster Boy when that came out. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption. I technically finished God of War, but it's still a couple of Valkyries I haven't killed, so I need to go back and finish that. I don't have much time to play anymore these days. I mean, if I play once every 2 weeks, that's good. So I don't get to play a lot anymore. Just life. I haven't time. And between this channel, between the repair channel, days are getting longer and drier outside, so I have a lot of stuff to do around the house and my own job and surfing and judo and karate. Yeah, that doesn't leave a lot of time for playing. Thrift Bites, do you like Steve Martin the actor or the banjo player? Because I know he did both. And the stand-up comedian as well. Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. Cosmic Castaway. I found all his channel through a video cut with no info at all, share on some random retro game community. Oh wow. It was fierce. Nobody could give me a hint who he was. Had to search for clues on YouTube. Well, fair fucking play to you, man. For doing that. I wish more people would do that. Yeah, you find a lot of sites and Facebook pages actually just rip the video and upload it and give very little info. It's kind of not cool, but it does happen. But it's nice to hear that you went through all those loops actually to find a channel. And thank you very much. I mean, I know you leave a lot of comments on the Discord and a few social medias. Yeah, you disappeared there for a while. Glad to have you back on there. Adrian Bauer, I was going to ask if the Link's Awakening remake excites you, but you don't have a Switch. No, I don't have a Switch. I don't know. I don't know. I'm torn. It does look cool, but I played it once on the Game Boy. It's great game. It's one of my favorite Zeldas actually, even though is it technically a Zelda, but yeah, I've no desire to replay it at this stage. It looks nice. It looks very cute. I know there's some people who are offended by the art style, but I think it looks okay. I was going to ask you, oh no, that's the same stuff. I think Link's Awakening is going to be the catalyst for me to get a Switch. That's fair enough. I still haven't got a Switch. I'd love to get one, but I can't really justify it. I don't play enough at this stage to warrant the cost. And then I did have actually the money for a Switch a while ago, a few months back. I had saved the money for a Switch, and I was in town. I was on my way to buy a Switch, and I passed a music store, and there was a concertina accordion, and I bought that instead. And I'm glad I did, because I get more use out of that than I would the Switch, really. Cosmic Castaway list. I know how it is to have a lot of covers. It's like that with my pieces too. Yeah, Cosmic Castaway is an artist as well. He does this sort of pixel cutouts of popular scenes. Really, really cool stuff. Join in the Discord. He posts his stuff actually on there as well. It's really very nice stuff. Jess Smith, I've got to go. I'll watch a replay of this video. Yeah, thank you very much, Jess. See you soon, dude. Jean-Georges, what is your favorite musical YouTuber? What is my favorite musical YouTuber? Whoa, that's a tough question actually. I very much like Mariachi Entertainment System because it's just so different. It's very personal and that kind of stuff. But he's not one YouTuber. There's a lot of people behind it. I'm gonna go with Alina Gingertail. She's a Russian YouTuber who does VGM and stuff like that. She used a very similar setup to what I use. She's doing extremely well, view and subwise. She's been quite popular. Do check her out, Alina Gingertail. Very, very good cover, and very few people in the West know her. She's super popular as a YouTuber in Russia, but yeah, very few people have heard of her. I think she's one of the best, honestly. And that style, in the acoustic style, and yeah, really, she can sing as well. It's just really, really cool. Wesley Crad, like Brazil. What is like Brazil? I'm not sure. Deep Wolf, hey man, how do you do? How are you doing, man? When is the next video? Well, it's every Wednesday. It's a video every Wednesday, so next Wednesday. Jason, Jason, is it Javier or Javier? Aloha again from Hawaii. Oh yes, yeah, you were the dude from Hawaii. I hope you can jam the ukulele to some of these SNES gameplay. Yeah, I've used the ukulele a good bit. I've used it in the I think in most of the Wounded Buyer covers recently. If you land near, it's there in the background somewhere. I like using it for a strumming accompaniment as well. That actually works really well. It's got that sort of crunchy sound. Really, really cool, nice crunch to it. It's interesting. Dick Tracy, hi there. Hi Dick. Orphan Music, yo, you in Brooklyn? No, I'm in Ireland. Brooklyn, that's why would you think I'm in Brooklyn? Ghetto, I'll create another account with a shorter name. That's cool, dude, that's alright. Virgo Bro, hey, I'm about to buy my first hardware synth. Know anything about them? Not really. I was never a actual hardware synth guy. I used a lot of I used computers, but it was the actual computers, you know, so it was the Amiga and the MSX, but the actual synths themselves, never really used that much. No, can't help you there, I'm afraid. GP Dengham, you is cool. Thank you. Mr. AJ Atomic, listen to your Mabby, is it Mabby Village or Mabe Village cover all the time. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very fond of this cover actually. It's heaps of fun to do. Deep Wolf, yes, Redhead is super popular in Russia. It's becoming annoying. Yeah, she's Alina Gingertail. Yeah, she's very good. You have to say she's very good, and she's done well really fast. I mean, I remember when I discovered her, she had like 60,000 subs a few years ago, and then when I checked again, like she had 600,000 or something like that. I don't know what she's at now. She's probably near 1 million or something. But yeah, that was funny to see her just ride like that and become very, very popular. It's just well deserved. I mean, she's doing very good work. I think we're at the hand here of the questions, unless my stream is frozen again. But I think the question was pretty recent there, but Gingertail. Collaboration helps a lot of small musicians. Yes, they do. Although, well, I know a ton of people who've done collaborations and it hasn't really got them anywhere. I think it really depends who you. It's all about your material, really. You know, you could collaborate and it doesn't really go anywhere. And most of my collaborations really haven't brought an audience across. I find it's funny like that. So I don't know what actually brings people across is when somebody just tweets about it. You know, that's really and sharing the cover helps so much. People don't realize just sharing it on social media, on Twitter especially, Twitter just brings so much views, and Reddit as well. I used to do a lot more sharing but of my stuff, but I don't have time. Don't really have time anymore. I should dedicate more time. It's a toss between just doing a lot of admin work for the channel, or spending that time just learning and playing music, and which ultimately is what I want to do. So yeah, it's a funny balance to have, but uh, like and subscribe. Well, I think we're there, folks. I've caught up with most of the questions, so I don't know, unless you have a lot more questions to ask and pressing matters. Here wouldn't be a bad time to end this little stream. Just keep it nice and short. I think the other ones were like hours and hours long, and kind of lost. I started rambling, I think, in the end. Oh, there's a few more. There's a few more stuff coming. Hold on a second. Let me just check. Master Yogras. Hello, love your Vampire Killer cover. It's real good. Thank you very much, Jude. That tune really is. That was the first tune I did when I started the channel, and then I wanted to redo it. So I'm assuming you're talking about the latest version. It was heaps of fun to redo and to show how far the channel had gotten, because it just evolved so much in 4 years. So it's really interesting. Skellington O'Boyle. Hey, Ollie, Connor from Judo here. Young Connor. Thank you very much, Judo. How's Judo? Like and Max will go nuts for that. Cool. Okay, Google. Yeah, I'll give you a pass on this one. Deep Wolf. Yeah, thanks, man. See you on YouTube. Thanks for going. Well, I was going to end it because there was no more questions. If people have more questions, I'm more than happy to continue answering them. But ever thought of making a video playing with someone else, a banjo and a piano, for example? I've done a few collabs, yeah. I've done, how many have I done? I've done one with Mariachi Entertainment System, one with Donut Drums, Moha Gamer, Lord Biff Music, and Subversive Asset. Yeah, that's I've done a few. It's collaborations are funny because it's just they can work, and sometimes I've tried a few that didn't work, and I didn't want to publish them because I didn't think they were either finished or just good enough. And it happened twice. The person got really offended. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to offend anyone, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's about the tune and the music itself, and not the person. So I've done a few covers that I'm not happy with, and I won't publish them because I'm not happy with them. So that same rule applies to, well, anybody else who wants to collab with me, and just if I don't feel it's good enough, I'm not going to publish them. And yeah, they got pissed off, and I did apologize actually to them, but yeah, some people, yeah, it happens. You can't please everyone, and I understand their side of things. I'll just spend the time to work and record something for me, and yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. It happens. I mean, it's not every collaboration is going to work, and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, that's just the way. And I don't think you should force something. You know, if it's not right, if staying in tune is very important. And that's what happened. I got stuff that was slightly out of tune, and or not in tune with, well, I tune to a tuner, so I know every time, and between every take I retune, so I know I'm in tune. Some instruments are harder to keep in tune than others, so what's going on with my screen here? So yeah, sometimes it can sound slightly out of tune, and sort of fell out with two people. Anyway, Leonardo Ferreira, hi, discovered your channel about a couple weeks ago via YouTube ad. Noticed that YouTube recommends your video on your own videos. Yeah, I heard a couple of people saying that they've had an ad for the Castlevania video on the Castlevania video. which is really annoying. You would think if you're paying YouTube to advertise, you would think that they would make sure that it doesn't happen on the video it's advertising or the channel of the person it's advertising. Yeah, it is the way. That's, yeah. Skellington Mobile, and my back is in tatters. I kind of stopped, but it was great training with you. I'm doing boxing now. Oh, nice. Yeah, I always wished I'd done proper boxing, or even a bit. I did a bit of just Thai training and that kind of stuff, but boxing looked like fun. I'm too old now. I don't want to risk concussions and stuff like that, but karate is still fun. And karate for me, elderly gentleman, I can do it without getting punched, because you can just air kick, air punch, and it's still fun and it keeps you somewhat fit. Google, I'm drinking a bottle of blue Listerine. My friend, you're gonna be removed. BTKFR, do you only cover songs of a game you played? Yes, I try to, or at least OSTs that I'm familiar with it, or that sort of resonate with me. Yeah, usually stuff I've played is the short answer. It's not a hard rule, but sometimes if there's a tune that I really like and I still haven't got there in the game, or I haven't yet played the game, or sometimes actually I know of the music and it gets me to play the game. Typically it's stuff I've played, but yeah, not always. Jean-Georges, going to bed. Thank you for making this word more fun. Dude, thank you very much. I mean, you're the ones listening and liking it's all tunes you liked already. You always keep that in mind as well. I'm just playing tunes that I know people like, and I like myself, but so it's half the battle is done there. I know people are gonna like them. But thank you very much. Salvo Camatini, do you know PIDs? PID? I'm not sure what it is. OST? No, this is the short answer, because I don't know what that game is. I think it's very intricate for you. Take a listen. I'll check it out. Yeah. Skeleton and Mobile. Also, it's way late. I'm gonna go to bed. Good night, dude. Chat to you sometime. Cosmic Castaway. Did you get a berimbau? No, I still. It's that kind of sort of Brazilian string with one string and a little resonator at the bottom. No, I still haven't got one of those. It's very limited. I'm not sure I can justify just buying one. And I can sort of replicate the sound the other way. Maybe I'll try and make one, but no, I haven't got one. I had been thinking about getting one, but they can actually be pretty expensive, and again, for the use I would get out of it, can't quite justify it. Maybe in time, if the channel gets more popular and get more Patreon support and that kind of stuff. Adrian Bauer, what's my poison? Right now it's a whiskey with some tonic in it, and just to help my my voice. I also have tea, but I haven't drank much of that. Actually, it's a cool cup. It's a Guinness cup. DIY is the way on the berimbau. Yeah, probably. Yeah. That'd be. I think there was on the Discord server. This fellow, nobody from nowhere, who's he's been absent from Discord there for a while, but I was in contact with him on Facebook. He's doing okay, but he said he'd made one in the past, and it was actually fun to make. So yeah, it'll be a cool one to make, probably. How's your singing voice? Any chance of a singing cover? I'm not a singer at all, dude. I can stay in tune, but some people just don't have a voice, and I know in and out of tune. I can sing in tune, but I just don't have a good singing voice, or any pleasant singing voice, really. So no, I don't sing, and it's very unlikely you'll ever hear me sing, unless you're in the shower with me, and that's not happening. How do you have a berimbau? No, that's what we were saying. No, I don't have one, and I can't really justify buying one. But I think, yeah, making one would be the way to go. It's a bit more involved than what it looks from the first look. It's so yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll probably be on the other channel. Again, I'm just gonna plug that channel. Actually, I'll do that at the end, plug all the stuff. But yeah, it'll probably be a job for the second channel. To make one of those, and for folks who don't know what channel I'm referring to, it's called the 8-Bit Man Shed. Sort of a deceiving name, but there's more stuff from that, other stuff than just 8-bit stuff. But I do a lot of arcade repairs and restoration, and computer old vintage stuff, restorations, and make the odd stuff in the shed as well. Kind of metal work and woodwork and things like that. So if that's they're longer videos, they're probably like 20-minute videos or longer. So yeah, if that's your thing, just check it out, the 8-Bit Man Shed. It's actually linked again on this side of the main channel. There's a section for all the channels that I recommend. There's the Motherfuckers podcast, which, by the way, I have a couple more coming very soon. One with the fellow who runs Amiga Ireland, and next week is it next week or the week after, I'm recording with Michael Montgomery, who is the owner of the Bitmap Brothers. That's going to be really, really cool to do that. So we'll talk about stuff like Speedball and Gods, and hopefully all the Bitmap Brothers games and history. So that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. And after that, I have a few people in mind, but I don't have enough time actually to do these either. Again, it's always a problem. So there's not going to be a schedule for those podcasts. This video is going to go on that channel. If you want to rewatch it, I recommend that you sub to that channel or just keep an eye on it. It's not going to be on this music channel. And I think that's it. There's the OB2 channel where I'm going to put all the compositions. I haven't really fully decided where I want to put those old compos that I want